I just had a big ramble without the microphone turned on. So that was brilliant. Very good. So yeah, I just deleted that. That wasn't worth keeping, unless you want to watch a still movie. It's not great. But yeah, I'm just having a coffee. I had some juice before. I made some juice, which was really yummy. And now I'm topping it off with something not so healthy. Now the juice was because I've had IBS flare and irritable bowel flare, and I had all these veggies in my fridge, but eating really coarse stuff when you're feeling a bit sensitive is just not good. But if I juice it, I don't waste it, and I still get all the good nutrients from that. And it usually works quite quickly to get things a lot calmer again anyway. And yeah, I've put turmeric and ginger in it too, which is really good. I had the alternator fixed on my truck, and then the other day I started it to shoot down the road, and I had a huge burning smell of rubber, which has got to be the fan belt. It stopped after a while, but I checked it afterwards and it's not terribly loose. It's got a little bit of play, but it's meant to have a little bit, but it's not overly loose, so I'm a little bit concerned as to what's going on there. And the front of my engine is such a pain to get at, because you've got those little flaps at the back of the cab, and then you have to climb in there and try and get to the front, which is really, really awkward. So I'm hoping everything's okay and it was just wet or something and slipped for a bit. Don't know, we'll see. I started again later that day and it didn't do it, so don't know, but yeah, truck stuff, hey, it's I get a bit tired of it sometimes. It just seems to be I work and work and work and work, and then I fix the truck, and then I work and work and work and work and fix the truck, and it's like, I guess it's what you get when you have an old vehicle. I do love living in it. I do love it. I sometimes think, oh, maybe I should change, and I have a look on Trade Me, and I look at things and go, probably more practical. But there was a couple of house trucks on Trade Me recently, but they didn't have cab overs because they're modern trucks, so they have the tilt cab, so their bed had to be in the living space, and they had little water tanks, and yeah, just this place. It's an old truck, but it's well set up. Like, I have 370 litres of fresh water, 370 litres of grey water, a composting toilet, a big fridge, 2 forms of heating, lots of solar now. Yeah, it's well set up, the housey bit. Yeah, so housey bit, the house bit. So after many, many days of rain, there was finally some fine weather after the fog lifted in the morning. I got the door painted fully because it had some weird colour patches on it, and that wall behind the cab, that flat wall, it was looking really scungy, and I'd never really done that properly. So I got in there with a long pole and a little mini roller and got the job done. And of course I went for a walk with Miss Zoe. She enjoyed it and climbed things, and she actually fell off that gate. I ended up having to catch her. So that was fun. I quite often get people actually request that I post recipes, and this is one of my easy cheat ones. Excuse my dirty Instant Pot. This thing I normally use a lot in summer. It's really good at making certain things, like I'll cook up something in bulk or rice, or it's really good for risotto. So I'm going to make a very, very plain risotto because My belly's been a bit sensitive. Normally I'd put onions and garlic in it, but I might put a little bit of garlic in, but not lots. I actually don't have any garlic, so there we go, that solved that. So that's arborio rice. Excuse the clonking, I just had to find my sieve. And then I give it a wash. I quite often don't actually do this because arborio rice, you want it to go nice and sticky, so I don't think it's that important with this. And I use this vegetable bouillon because it doesn't have yeast in it. Yeast is one of my triggers for stomach stuff, so most vegetable stock things have yeast in them. So yeah, this one's called Rapunzel's vegetable bouillon. Some pepper. Oh God, it's struggling. I broke my old one, so I ordered a cheap one from Trade Me, and it's not as good as the old one, but I buy these little bags of chopped up cube pumpkin. It's pretty handy stuff. So we'll chuck some of that in there, and that can go back in the freezer. What else do we want to put in there? A little bit of salt. I'm going to chuck some balsamic vinegar in it, which I have in my fridge. Just because I'm not adding garlic and stuff, it just makes it a bit more interesting. Thought I had some garlic powder. Never mind, let's chuck some water in here. And the official recipes, they've put the same amount of water in as rice. But I've tried that and it just ended up really weird and dry, and the rice was still hard. So I always put a bit more rice in there. While I mix it all around, I actually might chuck some Italian herbs in it too, since I'm not doing garlic and stuff. Or maybe, yeah, some herbs. And this is just so easy. And then I chuck the lid on. Pressure cook about 7 minutes. And now it just does its thing, which I find incredibly handy actually. It's just, I can just forget about it. And excuse the beeping. And it was oh, I'm being yelled at again. There. Hello. Say hello. You saying hello? I know what it is. When she sees me with the camera, she thinks we're going outside for walks. Because I go outside with the camera and take photos a lot, and that means I muck around outside. The dog's out there actually, Zoe, so you might not want to go out there. They chase her sometimes. But yeah, that Instant Pot, I normally use it a lot in summer. It's quite nice because it doesn't generate huge amounts of heat. Right, that'll do. I'm resting it on my TV. Doesn't generate huge amounts of heat, and you can bulk cook like potatoes, rice, stuff like that. It's great for stews and soups and stuff like that. But I wasn't really using it once my sun was going down. But since I'm on power, and I don't actually use a lot of power because I don't have electric heating or anything like that, I do use my Instant Pot. and as you can see, it takes 6 minutes to make a risotto. I put a bit of coconut milk or cream in at the end because I don't put cheese in it, just to give it a little bit more of that creamy texture. But apart from that, simple as. When my stomach's happy, I tend to chop up onion and garlic and saute that first. But at the moment, I'm not going to do that. I've got Mrs. Meow here. She's trying to eat the camera. Oh, she's a monkey. She wants to be a part of everything. Sometimes I feel like I should have got her a little friend, but I don't really want to have 2 cats. But she does get bored very easily. She really likes play and stimulation. Oh, she's watching the dog now. Look, there he is. There's the dog. Look where Zoe is. She is sitting up on this shelf so she can glare at the dog out the door. But yeah, so anyway, this Instant Pot thing, it takes a bit of time to come up to heat and up to pressure, and once it's up to pressure it starts counting down. So yeah, I've had that for quite a while, that thing, and I think I bought it when I was in Rotorua actually, on power, and thought, well, that'd be handy, especially for somebody like I don't eat meat generally, so I do cook normally a lot of beans and lentils. At the moment, not so much, but yeah, normally I do. And it's brilliant for cooking like a bulk lot of dried beans and things like that. So yeah, I use it a lot for that sort of thing. I don't make huge amounts of meals in it, but I use it for prep, Right, so I've finally finished mucking around with the truck for today, I think. I spent time yesterday painting those bits behind the cab, which was awesome to get done. And today I pulled the locker door out of the back. It was kind of warped and having issues, and so I pulled it to bits and put a bit of bracing behind it and resealed it and reattached it, and it seems to work a bit better now. I really should just get another piece of wood and replace it. It'd probably be a better idea, but I didn't have any. And I also went around with a big scraper and scraped all the sheep poo out from under my guards, because being in a sheep paddock, when I drive out, it kind of flings up under the guards, and I don't really want them to be caked with sheep poo. It's not good for the truck, and I don't think the testing station would really appreciate it either. So yeah, some testing stations will fail you for having dirty, that much muck under there that they can't see properly. So yeah, it's not a good idea. So I've been pottering around with that, fiddling around with my bench top, just doing a few things. I'm trying to think of a nice hot pool to go to for a weekend. I really would like to, before it gets warm again, stay somewhere where there's a nice hot pool and soak. It needs to be somewhere where Zoe can come to, not in the pool obviously, but just to wherever I'm parking. I had a look at the one just out of Hamilton, but the reviews on it all said, a bit expensive considering how run down it is, so it might not be very nice. I'll keep looking. I'll come up with something. I just feel a bit restless and a bit bored. Nice people here, but there's not that much for me to photograph and do and film and yeah, so yeah, and I don't have to be here all the time. At the moment I'm kind of here, kind of trying to figure out what's up with my truck. It still doesn't sound right. I had the alternator fixed, but it just sounds clattery and noisy, the engine, a lot more than it ever has before, and I can't figure out what's wrong with it. It starts well, it seems to run okay. There's no serious issues, it just doesn't sound right, and it just really bugs me, because I also, can't afford a huge repair at the moment. I haven't got the the cash lying around to do a real major one at the moment, so I'm a little bit cautious of going too far. I really don't want to be somewhere where I've got no contacts and no connections and nowhere to take it and find myself stuck on the side of the road. That's not the plan. I don't see anything obviously wrong. Like the oil looks fine, the water looks fine. There's no mixtures of either with the other, nothing like that. One of the injectors sounds a little bit funny, so it could be just that. I've had actually that second injector from the front of the truck seize up before a few years ago. It's weird. It could be that. And I had to go and get a new tip for it because it was all stuck. It just wasn't working properly. So yeah, I might have to pull that out and have a look at it. But if I pull it out, I don't actually know what to look for. So I might have to go somewhere. I might talk to the guy here in Cambridge who's really good and see if I can go there, pull it out, and he can have a look at it and let me know what he thinks. Because it could be something as simple as that. God, excuse my hair. Yeah, I've been scrambling around under the truck and not right under the guards and stuff. But yeah, it does sort of, having a concern like that does stop me from wanting to do great big hills and huge drives and things like that. I'm just a bit wary at the moment, but just sitting around isn't going to solve it either. I'd sort of hoped to figure it out on my trip to Taupo and Whakamaru and that, but no, not really. The rattle was the alternator, something to do with that. That's gone, so that's good. And that was spasmodic too. That wasn't a constant. That was only now and then. It would kind of clatter. But yeah. Yeah, I'm just not 100% sure at the moment, so I'll have to keep fuddling around with it and hope I can figure it out and solve this mystery. Yeah. So anyway, little trips, I think, for now until I work that one out. So yeah, a little hot pool not too far away. If you know of any in the Waikato area, put it in the comments below. I'd love to know. I'm sort of thinking of the ones that I know and trying to work out which one would work. I don't want to go to Kawerau and stay there. I don't think it'd be a very safe place for Zoe with all the people walking dogs through there and big dogs. So yeah, she's not that good with things like that yet. She's got a bit of learning to do. So anyway, yeah, I've just been pottering around doing a bit of maintenance on the truck. It's sort of a habit I got into when I was with the Gypsy Fair of always doing that sort of stuff in winter because it was the only time I had time. But it is actually quite good, especially painting, even though it doesn't dry as well in winter, you haven't got all the insects. Like in summer, I find it really hard to get painting done because you put a coat of paint on and every moth and bug and little fly glues itself to it. So yeah, I actually prefer doing it in winter if the weather's okay. And with acrylic paint, it's fine, it dries really easily and fast anyway. So yeah. Anyway, I hope you're having a good winter and snuggled up wherever you are or traveling and having a good time, whatever suits you. It's not a very exciting video, this one. I'll take you to the hot pool when I figure out which one I'm going to in my next video. But anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe if you want to see more. It really does help with the YouTube algorithm. If people like my video, it gets shown to people. If they don't, it doesn't get shown to people. So yeah. And I want to send you lots of love and see you all next time.